Hello students. Today we will discuss cost classification by behavior. There are four behavior of cost: fixed cost, variable cost, semi-variable cost, and staff fixed cost. Fixed cost. Fixed costs remain constant at all activity level. For example, the salary of a managing director, the rent of a single factory building. The third example is straight line depreciation of a single machine. These are the example of fixed cost which remain constant at all activity level. Number second, fixed cost graph decreases in per unit as the level of activity increase. This is the graphical representation of fixed cost graph on per unit. Let me explain this graph with the help of one example. For example, the rent of a farmhouse is $10,000. If me and my 10 friends, me plus my 9 friends is equals to my total 10 friends are going to a farmhouse, so the per head cost would be $1,000. And if me plus my 19 other friends also going to a farmhouse, now I have increased the number from 10 to 20. Now the per head cost is $500. Up again. Now the farmhouse rent is 10,000, but now 30 friends are going to a farmhouse. Now the per head cost 10,000 divided by 30 is equals to $333.33. So look here, when the number of people, when the number of friends increase from 10 to 20, 20 to 30, the per head cost decreases from 1,000 to 500, 500 to 333. That's why fixed cost graph decreases when the level of activity increased. I hope you understand this graph with the help of this example. Now, second, we will discuss about variable cost. Variable cost vary in total and remain constant in per unit. Variable cost is a graph which varies in total. For example, if I am making 10 units, my cost would be $100. If I am making 20 units, my cost would be 200 units. If I am making 30 units, my cost of making 30 units would be $300. As the number of units increase, my total cost also increases in total. So this is the graphical representation and illustration of variable cost per unit. Now we will discuss about variable cost per unit. Variable cost per unit graph, it's same as the fixed cost graph in total, but there is a vast difference between these in these two graphs. There are different concept of these two graphs. Fixed cost graph remain constant at all activity level, but in variable cost graph per unit there is another concept. The concept is, for example, if I am making this pencil, in the production of this pencil, my requirement is 10 kgs of material. The labor will take 2 hours at $10 per hour, and the overhead charges are $20 per hour. So this is the cost of production of one pencil. If I made the 10 same pencil, the cost of producing these 10 pencils are same material, same labor, and same overhead. That's why the variable cost graph remain constant at all activity level. Number third, semi-variable cost. Semi-variable cost is the mixture of fixed cost and variable cost, but this cost For the better understanding, we will understand this cost with the help of one example. For example, the line rent cost is $500 and per call charges is rupees $5. For example, suppose I have called 300, I have done 300 calls, and in number B, I have done 400 calls. There are two different situations. Now I am doing the calculation for 300 calls. 300 calls, semi-variable cost is equals to fixed cost plus variable cost. This is the full formula of semi-variable cost. As you know that fixed cost is 500, the line rent is $500. Variable cost, now I have to calculate the variable cost. My per call charges is $5, and in situation A, I have done 300 calls. Simply I have multiplied here 5 multiplied by 300, the answer is 1500. I have plus both these figures, 500 plus 1500, the answer is 2000. This 2000 is semi-variable cost. This contains both the element of fixed cost and variable cost. In 2000, fixed cost 500 and variable cost is 1500. Now we will do the same calculation for 400 calls. Again, I have write the formula here. Semi-variable cost is equals to fixed cost plus variable cost. Again, the fixed cost is remain same, as I told you that fixed cost remain constant at all activity level. So I have done 300 calls. My fixed cost would be 500. I have done 400 calls. My fixed cost would be 500. Same. If I have done 100 calls, my fixed cost would be same as it is 500. Now in this questions, I have done 400 calls. So we have to focus on 400 cost. Semi-variable cost is equals to fixed cost plus variable cost. Fixed cost is 500. Variable cost, we have to calculate the variable cost. Per call charges is $5, and I have done 400 calls. Simply I have multiplied 5 multiplied by 400. The answer is 2000. 5 plus 2000 is equal to 2500. So this is the graph. This is the example of semi-variable cost. Now in this 2500, the 500 represent fixed cost and the 2000 represent the variable cost. The graphical representation of semi-variable cost is described below by the following graph. Firstly, we draw the vertical line shows the total cost and the horizontal line shows the activity level. This dotted line is fixed cost, as this is the 500 my line rent, and this line which is going towards upward, this is variable cost. As you know that semi-variable cost contain the both element fixed cost as well as variable cost. I hope that this video is useful for you. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.